Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Miss Lisa. This is my YouTube channel where we talk about things that have to do with science and math. And what we're going to be doing is, this is physical science, and we're going to do a problem with wave speed found in chapter 10. And so we're going to do it together, and that's why I've got the camera turned around where you can just see the calculator and the problem real good. So this is our problem. It's a word problem. And what makes word problems hard is not the math, it's the words. So we need to get rid of all the words and make it just math. So here is our problem. It says, what is the speed? Well, we're going to stop right there, and we write the symbol for speed, which is this V for velocity, and we put question mark because it had the question word. Okay, next thing. We're doing good getting rid of our words so far. What is the speed of a sound wave that has a wavelength of 2 meters? So we have another number. We need to write it down, and we can write wavelength equals 2 meters. The symbol for wavelength is this Greek letter lambda. It looks like an upside down Y or a TP or a little house. Okay. And a frequency of 170.5 hertz. Okay, there's another number. We need to write it down. The symbol for frequency is this curvy F, and it was 170.5 hertz. Now we ask ourselves, is there a formula that relates speed, wavelength, and frequency? Yes, there is. In fact, it is speed equals frequency times wavelength. So you write it down. Write down your formula every single time. It will make you memorize your formula, and not just me, but other physics teachers give partial credit if you show your work. I always tell my kids that I teach, I count off twice as much for a blank answer as I do for a wrong answer. I'll give you part credit if you give me some reasonable work. And I also say always guess, because you never know when something will come out of the deep recesses of your subconscious and you'll get it right. So always show work, always guess, never leave it blank. I count off twice as much for a blank as I do a wrong answer. They're both wrong, but imagine if you get them all wrong, but I give you half credit for all of them. You've got a nice 50. Yeah, it's an F, but it's an F plus. Much easier to overcome than a 0 mathematically. So always guess. All right. So now what do we do that we have our formula and we've got our knowns and unknowns? We sing a song. We sing Substitute by The Who, which reminds us that we're going to write the value underneath its letter. So underneath F for frequency, I write 170.5, and under the lambda for wavelength, I write 2. Now, when I do this just for me, I write the units in here too, but I try to make it look a little neater for you, so a lot of times I'll leave them off. Now, I do the math on my calculator. Always use your calculator to do the math, even if you think you could do it in your head. I'm going to clear this out so it looks nice. Because your calculator doesn't make dumb mistakes. And you know what? Sometimes you can. Sometimes you stayed up too late playing video games, or your dog threw up or whatever, and you can just make a dumb mistake. But your calculator doesn't stay up too late playing video games, and your calculator doesn't even have a dog to throw up. So your calculator is not going to make a dumb math mistake. If you miss a problem, I want it to be because you didn't understand the science, not because of the math. I want you to use your calculator and get your math right. Okay, so it's 170.5 times 2.00. We could have just said 2. It's the same thing. And we get the answer 341. And the unit for speed here is meters per second. So that was our problem. That's the only one that they had you do in this chapter. There's more math in the other physical science book with the waves if you want to see some more math. If you like math and want to look at a little bit more of it. But that's all that I'm going to require for this chapter, because we're going to do some more chapters that have to do with waves. All right? Science is great. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Miss Lisa.